Well, hello, my beautiful Pisces. How are you, my gorgeous ones? Thank you so much for being so patient. Again, I have been very busy. It's a good busy. I've gotten to meet a whole bunch of you, new people on YouTube channel who see me privately, and I thank you for that. I wanted to remind everyone that I'm keeping the special right now going of 30-minute tarot readings for $60. You can go to your YouTube, sorry. You can go to yourindigopath2.com to order that. That special has been going on for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I extended it till I finish these videos because I want to give everybody a chance to see me if they want. 30-minute tarot readings is not a service I usually offer. I did it back in October, had a good response, and thought I'd bring it back to my YouTubers and social media. So you have till I finish all these videos, and then the sale will be over. The special will be over. All right, my gorgeous Pisces, what is going on? Let's go over the highlights of what's going to be going on. So we have this new moon in Aries coming. We are in retrograde, Mercury retrograde right now. We have the full moon in Scorpio coming. Mercury is going to go direct this month. We have Saturn and Pluto retrograde. We have Saturn and Pluto are going to retrograde this month. We have Venus entering Gemini, which is going to be a fun time. We have Chiron entering Aries. It's going to be leaving Pisces. If you haven't seen my Chiron video, I'll have it on the side here at the end of the video, or in the link. I'll have it as a link in the description box down below. And in the end, Neptune gets activated with the sun. So Pisces, where is that going to happen for you, and how is this going to affect you? So the first part of April has been probably a little stressful. It's going to be a little stressful because we have retrograde in your second house. So financially, you've had some delays, some things aren't coming about, maybe you're having to reorganize. Remember, retrogrades are about completions, reorganizing, amending, completions, reorganizing, amending, and some delays. So you may have had some delays. The second house for you, it's been in Aries, the second house. So the second house is about the value you bring to your identity. So it could be finances. It could be maybe the house. Maybe you're buying a house and the paperwork didn't go through yet, or maybe it has to be revised or something happened. Maybe it's a car that you're trying to get. Maybe whatever this is, you've been having to deal with this with the retrograde going on. So you had some starts, some new beginnings when it went into Aries, but then you had some delays, or it could have. So for you, Pisces, your first house is activated, your second house is activated, and your 11th house. Now this is the 11th house of gains. And also your 9th house is activated, okay, because it's got Scorpio, it's got Jupiter in there. So this is going to be about these things coming together for you, okay? So you got the first, the second, the third, the 8th, and the 11th house. So this is the 8th, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this 8th house of Jupiter and Scorpio, or Jupiter's in Scorpio. 8th house is the house of transformation and power and other people's money. And so maybe if you were dealing with your second house, maybe you've had some delays, maybe you've had to work a little harder. I know that you probably had a lot of stress going on with this, but at the second half of April, it looks like it's going to clear up for you. Mercury goes direct. We've got some good things happening for you. So your 11th house, this is your house of gain. So if you've been working on it, Pisces, and because you have Saturn, Mars, and Pluto. So in this house of gains, and the house of gains supports your 10th house, right? So your 10th house is your career. So this is actually working with networks, working with social groups, working in expanding that network, expanding that social group, expanding your life purpose, right? Your career. So it's going to sort of ease up towards the middle and into the end for you. So let's go over some of the days. So on the 11th, we have the sun, and it's going to square Pluto. So Pluto in your 11th house, the sun is in your second house, so it's going to bring light. It's going to something is going to, like, the stress, the pressure, it's almost like a diamond being made. You know how you get the pressure and the stress, and it sort of forces you to do and become what it is that you want to become, or you feel that way at least. So Pluto is about transformation. So they want to transform your 11th house. They want to expand your purpose. And the sun is all about bringing clarity, bringing light, bringing some ease, some clarification, some epiphanies to that. So on this day, you could find that something that you have been working on comes through in this 11th house. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's some friends that come through, maybe it's a social network that you've been trying to get in because it's going to help your career. Maybe that comes through. Whatever this is, Pluto is trying to transform this, and the sun is bringing light to it. So on the 15th, and we only have like 6 more days, I think, of retrograde. On the 15th, Mercury goes direct. So all these things, these financial things, these delays, these amending and reorganizing and revising and this hard work, all that is, you can now, from like the 15th on, feel free to go forward with it, and you'll find that the energy is easier to go forward with it. Okay. And this again is happening in your second house, the second house of your value, the second house of what you've been working on to so it supports your first house, your identity, what you came here to do, how you see yourself in this world, how others see you in this world, the claim you stake to who you are in this world and what you want to do, right? So the 17th through the 22nd are going to be really powerful days. We have a lot going on the 17th through the 22nd. So we have this new moon in Aries on the 17th. Well, let me just say, on the 17th, we have the new moon in Aries. We have the sun and the new moon conjunct Uranus. We have Saturn retrograding till September 6th. So Saturn's going to retrograde to September 6th. So you've got like 4 months where you'll be working on this. You have Chiron that's going to enter Aries. So Chiron in your house, in your identity, in the way that it's like been dealing, or you've been dealing with these old wounded healing, these old wounds, and trying to heal them by letting go. It's gonna be a very different energy when it goes into Aries. I will do a video on how it's gonna act in Aries for each sign, but if you haven't seen my Chiron video, again, I'll have that on the side. And Uranus exacts the sun, so something is coming about in your second house. Something is coming through. Something's going to break through. Okay, so let's go over the new moon in Aries. So this new moons are about looking forward, manifesting, directing yourself towards that, taking some action, and it's in Aries. So this will give you the energy to take the action and see clearly what you want to do when this new moon comes in your second house. The second house is, again, your finances, your value, what you value, what makes you of value, like all of that, and has to do with your second house. So, pardon me. Then we have the sun. So we'll have the sun and the new moon, and it's going to conjunct Uranus, which means it's speaking very closely to Uranus. So the sun bringing light and the moon bringing that emotional connection to what you want is going to be speaking closely to Uranus. Uranus is that planet that wants to, and this is like lower surface, it's not surface stuff, it's like just under the surface stuff that's going to be going on. Uranus is the planet that wants to shock and awe, but it wants to shock and awe so that it brings you liberation, so that you can breathe, so that you're shocked and surprised at what really happens because you really worked for that, and oh my gosh, that really did come true. Like, how did I do that, right? So you can think of Uranus as like the Tower card, where it changes things, but it changes things so that you can understand your power, so that you can understand who you are, so that you can understand your value, right? Pardon me. So it looks like on the 17th, something could be coming about for that tower, or Uranus. When those two conjunct Uranus, something very powerful is coming through, especially in your second house, especially that brings value to you. So if you've been working on something very diligently, very hard, really trying to make your career go forth, really trying to figure out what it is that you're wanting and what's the type of life you're wanting, that could be coming through, and something could come through for you. So also, Chiron enters Aries, and again, it's going to act very different in this house. So this house is your house of value. So there are going to be some old wounds that come up in this house. But it's so that it clears. It's so that you let go and understand, and your value comes up, who you are, understanding you're just as important as everyone else, and understanding your boundaries, right? Okay, and so on the 18th, Uranus exacts the sun. So if it doesn't happen on the 17th, like the 17th through the 20th is when Uranus is going to shock you. So something's coming through with that. On the 19th, the sun enters Taurus. So the sun entering Taurus on the 19th here. So this will be in your third house of communication. So something comes to light. And because Venus will be there for just a little bit, till like the 22nd, I think. Because Venus is there, it has to do with your money. It has to do with your relationship. It has to do with love. It has to do with the beauty, or love, or money, or luck, right? And so when the sun enters Taurus, Taurus is about finances. Taurus is about money. Taurus is about the luxury. So even though it's in your third house, it's your second house is activated, which is a Taurus house normally, originally. So I can see where something is going to be brought to light. Something's going to be known. Something's going to come out. Something's going to come through. And so that's why I'm saying from the 15th on, you'll have some things are going to be breaking through financially for you, where you've had all the delays in the beginning. It's going to be sort of breaking through. But this also has to do with relationships and love. So if you know, and you're Piscean, so you know if somebody's keeping something from you, that's going to come to light as soon as that sun hits Taurus. And you'll be working on that the whole 30 days, right? Because the sun stays in a sign for 30 days. So good luck with that. Sometimes Pisces, I love you dearly, but sometimes you choose not to look at things that are right there, and then they slam you in your face, and then you're like wondering what happened, but you kind of knew what happened, because you can't on one hand say, I'm connected to the universe, I'm connected to source, I'm very intuitive, I understand, and then when things are right in front of you, you choose not to see it, right? You can't like say that you're both, because you're like neglecting one part of you. Okay, so on the 22nd, Saturn conjuncts Pluto. So Saturn, this is a big time. This is your 11th house. This is the house of gain. So especially, so let me just say something to you. So with Pisces, if you guys have been working and things have been delayed and your finances are usually good, but in the last 6 months or 8 months they haven't been good, it's turning around. It's almost there. It's turning around. And that means if you've been working diligently and you've been keeping your boundaries and you've been understanding who you are and what you want, and you understand the value of you, that's that second house. And you've been networking and you've been really trying to gauge, how I can make my purpose better, how I can make my career better, how can I make my finances better, how can I make my job better. If you've been really diligently working in this, when Saturn conjuncts Pluto, they're going to be talking to each other. That's why Mars is here. Mars is going back and forth between Saturn and Pluto. It's like giving energy to them, and it's like taking messages back and forth, right? And so when this conjuncts, you could have something definitely happening, and it may not happen right on that day, because that's when Pluto, so you'll have Saturn going retrograde, and then you'll have Pluto going retrograde on the 22nd. And you'll have from that point till September 22nd to have this transformation happen with either a bigger crowd, a bigger social network, some new friends coming in, some new ways to make money, some easier ways to make money. Like something's going to come through with this house. So on the 24th, you have Venus entering Gemini. And Venus is, when it enters Gemini, it's such a better time that when it goes to Gemini, because Venus is the planet of love and luck and money, and it's moving into lighter, beautiful, kind Gemini, right? And so when it moves into this is going to be done in your fourth house. So the fourth house is your lineage. The fourth house is where you understand the heart. You know, the home is where the heart is. So you could have things come about with your, siblings. Things come about with when you could have luck in that. You could have money coming through your siblings. You could have money coming through your lineage. You could have money coming through, like maybe this is something that you guys have worked on. You could have luck in what's been going on with you and your family or your lineage or your with yourself. You could have some epiphanies and maybe some love that's coming to you. You could have some money coming to you. You could have some luck coming to you. So Venus entering Gemini is going to be there for a little bit, and I think it's a good time in there. So on the 29th, you have the Sun trining Saturn. So the Sun is going to trine Saturn on the 29th, right? And we also have this full moon in Scorpio. So the moon is going to be over here in Scorpio. The Sun is going to be over here in Aries, but it's going to be trining Saturn. This is a really powerful day for everybody because it's going to be trining Saturn, the full moon. So the Sun's going to be trining Saturn. The full moon is going to be sextiling Saturn. Jupiter is going to be conjunct the full moon, and Neptune is going to be trining the full moon. So let me go over that. The Sun is trining Saturn. So trines and sextiles to me mean opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Things come in, your life can change, but you have to see the opportunity and take the actions, right? So the Sun trining Saturn means that something in your second house that you have been working on, Saturn is going to bring you opportunity to bring you the gifts from that. It's going to make it physical if you see the opportunity and take action. Okay, you have this full moon in Scorpio, and we've talked about this before. Full moons are about letting go. They're about completions. They're about understanding that, what no longer serves you, if you just let it go, you won't be holding it in your physical reality, so that new abundance can come into your physical reality. New relationships, new money, new things, new careers, new finances, like all of that can come in as you let go of what no longer serves you. So with the full moon, so the Sun is going to trine Saturn, and then the full moon is going to trine Saturn. Okay, so the full moon trining Saturn is also going to bring you an opportunity for something that you really love, for something that you really enjoy, in your ninth house of belief systems, right? This is your ninth house of higher learning. This is your ninth house of bigger understanding. This is where teachers can come in, and Jupiter has been there. And so when the moon trines here, when the moon sextiles here, there's going to be opportunity in that. So you might have a bigger understanding. You might get some clarity about this stuff. Saturn is physical. It wants to bring physical things. So there may be somebody coming. There may be a teacher coming. There may be a guru coming. There may be a higher learning, an institution coming, right? And then Jupiter conjuncts the full moon. So this is going to be in your ninth house of belief systems. So Jupiter conjunct the moon means you're connected to that higher understanding, to that higher belief system. Maybe you have epiphanies and understand something bigger than yourself. Not that you don't already, but being on this earth, you may be thinking about the way that people have done things, the way how it's so different than you would do things, and why are people the way that they are. And you may come to some sort of understanding about that in your life. Like, why did this happen? Why did I have this done? Why did I want this done? What did I learn from this? Like, that stuff could be happening. And remember, Jupiter will bless you. Saturn will bless you. As you grow in this house, they bless you. And then on the 29th also, you're going to have Neptune. And this is your ruling planet. So Neptune is going to trine the full moon. Okay, so Neptune, I kind of feel like there's going to be an awakening or epiphany or some big understanding that becomes clear to you. And it has to do with this Venus, I think. and the second house. So the third and the second house, that's what it has to do with. Or it'll be the fourth house at this time, sorry. So it'll have to do with Venus and the second house. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this big understanding comes, and that doesn't mean like all just in my head I understand. That means maybe something happens around me that things become very clear for me as to where I want to go, what I want to do, right? And so the last thing is that on the 30th, Neptune sextiles the sun. So Neptune sextiling the sun, and the sun will be in Taurus by this time, but Neptune will sextile the sun, which means that something will come to light about, or something will bring you opportunity in expanding you, in expanding your wealth, your finances, your career, your relationships, it has something to do with your identity. And when the sun sextiles it, it gives you an opportunity to go forth and make this bigger, because Neptune wants to make you bigger. Neptune wants to dissolve everything, right? Yeah, Neptune wants to dissolve everything, but it wants to make it bigger. So that's what's going on for the next couple of weeks in April. So let me move this so that I can make it bigger. So I hope that helps. So if you're not watching me on IG or on the dailies, I got a new tarot deck just to let you guys know how much I do love tarot. I just don't think it's the only thing, right? I don't think it's the only tool. So to show you guys some love, I bought the Grand Lux Tarot from my favorite person, and I got this cloth too. So I thought I'd be using this and get to know these cards a little better. So I did this spread for you guys. This is your present position in April. This is your challenge in April. This is your fate. This is fated. That's destiny. That's the things that are coming, whether you believe or not, because it's on your path. And then this card, the last card, is where you're going, your outcome, what's going to be going on this month. And so I did want to mention also, I should have mentioned at the beginning of the video, when I'm doing your charts, I'm looking from the ascending, but you can look from the sun and you can look from the moon. So if your moon is in Pisces or your sun is in Pisces, it's still the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Your ascending, the reason I look at it from the ascending is because that's your fated destiny stuff. That's the stuff that's on your path. Your conscious or your sun is your choice whether to do it or not. And your moon would be the emotional connection or the way that you do it, right? If you decide to do it. Where the ascending or the rising is the fated destiny stuff, okay? So let's get started, my beautiful Pisces. So in your present position, try to do this here, you have the Four of Coins. So the Four of Coins is all about budgeting, all about maybe having somebody come in to help you, about really watching your finances, about really watching how you do things, about really watching how much you're giving to relationships, or how much you're giving, how much money you're giving, how much time you're giving, how much energy you're giving. You're really, really watching that. And so with the Four of Coins, that's what that's about. I'll try to put this here so you guys can see it better. Those are beautiful, beautiful cards. It's my favorite illustrator. So with the Four of Coins, you see how he has all this growth that he's done, but he's sort of keeping it in the box because he's not being frugal about it. He's just being wise about it. And so some of you, that's your position, but others of you, this is about someone coming in to help you. So they may have already come in to help you. They come in to help you, but you have to remember that sometimes people do things with strings attached, and that's what this is about. Okay. So, that's your present position. So this is your challenge. This is Spirit's advice in your challenge. So your challenge is the Four of Wands. So you're trying to get to a place where you have that partnership, or you have that, whether it's a partnership with somebody or yourself, where you have that stability, where the things that you have, because some of you had a lot and then you lost it all and you're trying to gain it back. That's what I've been feeling with Pisces. So whether it's relationships or finances or even family or friends, like you were at a place where you had it all and then you lost it, and then you're going back to that place where you have it again. So you're trying to get to that place. So the challenge is be feeling stable, taking enough action to become stable, and not getting sidetracked with all the possibilities that are there, so that you can actually manifest and make these things stick, right? That's your challenge, is to like know that it's solid, have built the post, you're going to be building the walls, but feeling and knowing that you're much more stable. That's your challenge, because nowadays, after you had everything and lost everything, nowadays when things are coming, you're too afraid to take a breath because you're thinking it can be taken away again. That's some of you, okay? So that's your challenge, is to sort of ease into that and realize that it is yours, that you never really lost all of it, that it's always been there. It was always yours. So this is your fated stuff. This is your destiny. This is the stuff that's coming in. You have the devil card. So the devil card is all about addiction. It's all about lustfulness. It's all about indulgence and taking it to the nth degree. And so it looks like you're coming into that time of abundance for me. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling the fated stuff is time for abundance. But when in the past you would have been really able to indulge in the abundance, I feel like some of you are almost afraid for it to come in because it could be taken away. That's what I'm feeling. But understand that this stuff is happening for you this month. If you've been working on it and your boundaries are clear and you've taken some action and you know where you want to go and you're doing the work, but then there's delays, don't worry, it's coming. It's like, and it's coming this month, like towards the end of the month. Okay. And so in the last card, this is where you're going. This is the outcome. These are beautiful cards. So the outcome is the King of Coins. So the King of Coins is, to me, it's not gender specific. To me, it's about the character of the card. It's about the character of this particular king. The King of Coins, or the King of Pentacles, works very, very hard at what he has. He is very, very giving, very loving. His issue is that he can get too focused on one thing and forget about the other stuff. Like personally, not in business, but so either he gets too focused in personal and forgets about the business, or too focused in business and forgets about the personal. So he has to learn to balance, because he can miss out on things. So this is where you're moving towards more stability, being more methodical, taking the actions needed. And that's for some of you. For others of you, this is a person coming in. This is the person that you've been wanting. This is the person, because it's time. It's time. You've learned, you understand, you're not taking advantage, you know where you want to go, you're not going to do this iffy kind of thing, and you're going to be able to appreciate this person coming in. And that's where you're headed. That's what you'll be working on during the month of April. So my gorgeous ones, I love you, love you, love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful month. Thank you again for being so patient with me, and please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, you can order that 30-minute tarot reading at yourindigopath2.com. Love you, love you, love you. Bye.